immediately be dropping on each other and have to take those early game fights. I think it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out for Panamanian. We see Mike topside here already up on the loot, looking to make something happen. Some armor under his belt already. This is where Mike shines in the early game. Once he's got a weapon and some armor under his belt, he's more than happy to go take those fights. We're going to take a look here. KLA's T225 on the Akos with the Nunnies in the back pocket here. Mike, yet again, we'll take a look at the standings while we wait for this to kick off. Nobody yet engaged in a fight just yet, but it's not going to be long, ladies and gentlemen. With all these hot drops, you can bet money we're going to see something break out here soon. There we go. Frostivus, he's got Mike in the sights, opts not to go for it with only a white katana in the back pocket here on Justina. Hasn't been able to get any of those fireflies. There we go. We're going to kick things off here with JDG's Chuzhang and Wolf CDY here on the target. Oh my God, a huge R&B off of the Hong Sword here. Puts Wolf CDY immediately in the forefront, and he finds the second one, and he picks up the first elimination of the match.
Wow, that's a quick elimination there for CDY at money drop. Just a quick hits back to back with those focus attacks off the Hong Sword, just doing a lot of damage. And that was a blue Hong Sword there, and his opponent did have that purple Long Sword, didn't even get to touch him. And wow, what a showing there for CDY. A quick elimination on the board, already jumping up to third place, or was already third place, closing out that gap between both of the players on top of him right now, with only a 0.2 difference from first to third right now. T225 on the Akos. This is a player I'll always keep my eyes on, T225. He's always been one of those players that just falls short and can't close out those games that he needs to. He is currently in 7th place, but T225 has that ability, and he is a very strong player, and he has the abilities to be the best of the best. But we have another scrap off starting off. We have a 3-way scrap off right now. Wan Leong and Frostivus. Frostivus with a huge bow shot there onto Wan Leong. Blue staff in hand. Another double bow shot in the back end there from Spider. And now the focus is going to be turned on to Wan Leong right now. The chase is up. Wan Leong wants to create as much distance as he can using the terrain here of the streets. But what a grapple up there from Spider into the R&B release as well. And that was beautiful play there from Spider. Now the scrap up reemerges there for Spider and Frostivus. Catches the grapple 1.0. No, the F is called it from Frostivus. The overhaul for Spider reads it with a huge parry. Now Frostivus might be falling down here. Quick comes in off the focus. Frostivus now might be in trouble. The ultimate does get invested there from Spider. He is going to have that whiz to try to close up this distance here. Frostivus might be in big trouble. Blue longsword in hand for Spider. Now Frostivus is going to respond with a big parry as well. The jump LB for the extra damage. He's going to try to catch the prio off of this. A follow-up R&B from Spider. But LB prio this time around from Frostivus. He turns the fight around. No, he's 1 HP. He does not fall. The F called in this time to stay safe. And the armor swap as well. Frostivus is going to go ahead and invest his ultimate. Misses the first dash. Catches the second to the overhaul. And it's enough damage. And Frostivus coming out top in this scrap off.
Oh, this is absolutely huge for Frostivus. What a turnaround into the armor swap pickup with the follow-up parry, the juggle coming off. Oh my goodness, turn me back over to OUG's Mike here, now scrapping it off with KLA's T225 and GG Shaw. Shaw coming in, looking to capitalize on the kill as well. Some shots ringing from downrange as well, but it is going to be GG Shaw who's able to push in and clutch out the elimination on the T225. OUG's Mike waiting topside here for Shaw to come in. Going to find the charged LB off of the dagger, get a ton of damage, and avoid the F coming in from the Akos here. Shaw needs to break away now as the rest of these players show up looking to take a piece of it. The ult going to be invested on the side of GG Shaw, and OUG's Mike gonna slow roll this. Doesn't want to pressure too terribly much here. Gonna let PST take the brunt of this ult coming in from Shaw. Shaw comes in, mistakes the timing, jumps over Mike, has no defense from the overhead pole sword, and Mike cleans up the elimination. Oh my goodness. Shaw thought he was going to get away with that, and Mike shows him why you don't go airborne into these fights. Mike, though, going to get froze out by PST here. Mike trying to return the favor back onto him. Going to strip that purple armor from PST. Now going into the shale hole here. Will find the follow-up. PST doesn't find the dodge timing. The freeze is out. Mike instantly cleans up the elimination for a second one, but he's got to come out on top against DOG Fong. Fong here with the huge lead here in terms of armored HP as well as the ult going. There's not really any place Mike can go. He's just got to try to keep the movement alive here. He does find the armor swap into the white armor, but Fong's going to keep the chase up here. Mike playing this exceptionally well right now. Play and keep away here. Doesn't want Fong to get any value out of this ultimate. He's trying everything he can to find it, though. The grapple lock going to come down. Unfortunately, the ult will time out. We're going to see some fire tick come through, and Fong will finally find the elimination onto OUG's Mike.
This is a finals right here. We have these crazy engagements from these players already happening. Game 1. Action now against Arano. Arano drops down to 6th place, but was in 3rd place moving into the first game. Action on the Shayo, blue Hong Sword in hand. Arano drops very low, did manage to get an armor swap, it looks like. Drops a lot of that white HP down, and Action needs to close out this elimination to start getting on the board as well. Currently in 8th place for Action. There is a no ult zone already posted up in this area, and Arano doing a really good job staying mobile for the time being. Does manage to pop one white health in the F to back up, plus the pistol shot for the extra damage. Now he's gonna go ahead and invest his ultimate as well. Catches the LB Prowl into the uppercut on the side of the roof there. Does not manage to get the extra damage. Gets the R&B. The ult does come out to the uppercut there for Arano onto Action. And Action still has a resurrection, I believe. And Arano coming out on top there with the purple nunchucks. And Runekeeper, we haven't even got to the first realm, and these players are just going at it right now. Our first realm of Yang starting to spawn up right now. And what a showing so far from these players. Everybody's getting active, and they know they have one job to do, and it's to try to get to that 30-point mark as fast as possible, to try to get into that match point, to be able to win the bi-weekly final for the 2024 Naraka Bladepoint Pro League Spring Split. And we're back. I mean, for me, it's been a while, Runekeeper. I have not been casting the pro league since last year until last week. So I mean, it's just amazing to see these players back at it. I mean, and just everybody evolving, and how the skill gap is just insane right now. Right now it's the peak of Naraka with how everybody's playing, and it's a beautiful thing to watch.
Oh, absolutely. Like you said, we're going to head into this first realms of Yang. And like I said, this game going to be very, very intense. Firefly map coming through, right? A lot of players here trying to get inside the realm of Yang, but it's been DRG's Fong coming in to KLA's T225, Alliance and XCG going head-to-head, as well as GG and EWG. But right now, we're on to Fong versus T225. And these two players have got a history of going back and forth inside the realm of Yang. So this is going to be personal for these two. Oh my God, T225 with a huge advantage there. Able to cancel out of that animation and find the aerial LMB twice onto Fong. Fong on the back foot now, not any place to go, back to the wall. Still doesn't have the ultimate just yet, 2% away. He's going to go airborne. There we go. He's able to use that ultimate to cancel out and start to turn this fight around if he can. He does miss the first engagement from the F there. He's got one left in the tank. He needs to try to come back in. He will find the jumping left click, but oh my God, T225 right now putting on a masterclass in how to deal with Akos inside the realm of Yang. The man barely takes a single tick of armor, and KLA's T225 comes out on top.
Did not just do the light on him right now. He just puts his glasses up. Just another day in the office for T225 in that realm of Yang. And I think they're on the new patch. I think I saw 3 realm of Yangs this game.
Yes, that is correct.
Wow.
So we got 3 realms of Yang the first time Yang comes through, and we have those new Banes that drop during cycle 4 and 5 of the map as well.
Oh, so it's constant aggression from all these players. Bong, 3 minutes and 50 seconds to try to pick up Soul Bloom, but as the power play for most of these players, hiding one of those Soul Blooms in the zone. We usually see that time and time again. These players are always ready, and they're taking their chances in that realm of Yang just in case they do fall. Like for instance, in Fong's occasion there, he did fall. He has that Soul Bloom. He does not have to really stress about getting aggressive against another player and picking up that Soul Bloom. He already had that backup plan, so that's beautiful to watch there from Fong. Mike though is gonna get caught up by 2 players, T225 and Spider. R&B catches the Scale Rush, nearly catches there, but Mike manages to weave around, gets 1 bonk in. He does manage to hit T225 with the F as well, and Mike has 2 players on his trail. Spider in the back end with that purple armor. Oh, nearly hits him with that R&B focus there from that dagger, and Mike is still going to try to create some space. Spider in the back end might get some aggression onto T225. Gold Hong Sword on T225 right now. That's going to do a lot of damage right now, coming out victorious in that realm of Yang. Did manage to get the weapon upgrade there from that gold Hong Sword. Spider just scouting around in the Tumult. And man, I'm so happy to see a Tumult on the field right now, because I love Temmie, and there was a time that a lot of these players were running Temmie, and it kind of died out after, I believe it was Hottie that came out, but now, I mean, we're seeing it right here. That's a beautiful whisk there from Spider. OUG's Mike's gonna be forced to pop that ultimate, very weak. 1 range shot and takes out Mike here, but Mike is moving right now. He's doing everything he can to avoid all these shots, and nobody can hit a shot on Mike right now. And look at this man on the fan, just constantly staying mobile, and he pretty much broke their ankles. Cuts noise, needs to pop a pie. He does manage to do so. Shazong and the Spider, GG Shaw, all these players using this middle building in Celestia to stay mobile, which is a very common spot for these players, as you saw there with OUG's Mike's abilities to stay mobile. These players can just move around freely. Does get caught up by GG Shaw finally. That's a lot of damage. F calls in. The musket shot connects as well. Mike now back on the run once again. Chazon with the halberds in hand. Spider in the back end as well. All these players have their eyes on this Shayo. And this might be big trouble for Mike. He does not want to be eliminated right now. We still have 2 buffs in the field from EWG and XCG right now. One of them about to run out pretty soon. But right now, Mike is able to get out of that, and he manages to get back to full hold kind of, but he's in there aggressed on once again. GG Shaw with matches bow shots there as well. OUG Mike back again on the run, just making a very hard job for these people to try to pick up this elimination on them. And what other player to do so than OUG's Mike, Runekeeper?
Look, I mean, Mike knows what he needs to do here. He's in a bad situation. Fong was able to grab that elimination early, but he's got 2 kills under his belt here. He came in with a big chunk of points to start this off. You know, he had 7 points coming into this. He needs 30 to get to that match point. I think he knows that he's in a position where he can't take this out and win the MVP this game. He's just being caught in a constant state of chase, right? But if he keeps these other players chasing, what he does is he reduces the amount of points they put on the board and increases the amount of points that he can. So as long as he keeps this going, he knows this is not going to be his game, but he can make the absolute most out of it. And he clearly has Celestra mapped out in his head here. We saw where he came topside just at this spot where we're passing here that Shaw's going under now, where he goes through the roof, gets down in the corner, sees Spider come in, grapples up and comes back up and over and has a plan to just completely lose line of sight. This is what Mike does, right? He doesn't come into Celestra without a plan and just hopes it'll work out because he's got places to scale rush. Unfortunately, he is going to get caught out by Shaw here, but he's waiting for it, right? He's got his finger on the F ready to go, and now he's looking to break ankles yet again. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Mike knows what he is doing. He has a game plan. He is not just running blindly through Celestra. He has a route that he's going to take here, and he knows how to break some of these players' ankles. We're going to see the bell get invested here. I'm not sure who was the one hit it or if it actually triggered off of anybody. Could it mean disaster for Mike, though, if it was able to catch on to him? Oh my god, Shaw gonna come into the middle of the fight between WBG Spider, DRG's Fong here, and immediately invests the ultimate, trying to go in on the Spider. The problem is now the Spider has caught Shaw, the fly, in his web. Oh no, he's gonna go down to the Yang. And unfortunately, Shaw just not able to make it out. Spider plays the waiting game, throws the web out, and says, "Come to me, my little fly."
Oh, that's super unfortunate there for GG Shaw. Does manage to get eliminated by that Yang depletion. We have our second Roma Yang of game number 1. EWG's Arano with the gold nunchucks in hand. We have Eliza's Frostivus in this Roma Yang here. Running dual blades, I believe. It's a purple rarity there for Frostivus. F caught in for Frostivus. Arano with a velocity untold as well. 1-2 off the nunchucks. Does manage to catch the prio the second time around. That's gonna be the standard combo there from the nunchucks. Trying to weave and trying to wait out the dashes here from the Justina. He's gonna go ahead and invest the ultimate as well. As 0 for 0 has a pulse sword out there to get the quick damage in, and you see the health please just go down quickly there. But the grapple LMB for the finisher. Super unfortunate for Frostivus, and Arano is gonna come out victorious in his Roma Yang, getting another weapon upgrade. It's gonna be a gold pulse sword, and also gonna get that buff for himself. That's gonna be a big upgrade there for Arano as well. Already pretty much scaled, but now Arano with another set of gold weapon in this Roma Yang. Looks like Panda Man as well won his side of his Roma Yang, getting that new Tiger buff in. Very interested to see what you think about that new buff, Runekeeper.
Look, this is an interesting choice, right? I think it's more viable in solos currently than it is trios, right? Trios, typically you have a support, you have some sort of healer on deck to go ahead and heal you, but in solos, if you're playing a non-healing hero, being able to take that and move into this stage of the game with consistent healing on your back, especially when going into late game without resources, is what eliminates a lot of players. Being able to just have that in the back pocket to constantly give you that little bit of healing, you can confidently take fights knowing that you're always going to be on the uptick. As we see here, Wolf CDY right now got OUG Mike locked in their sights, looking to come in. He's got those legendary dual Hallies he looked like he picked up outside of that Realm of Yang as well. Wants to keep the chase up here. Wolves with 2 eliminations under his belt, wants to keep the pressure up. He hasn't been able to, he wasn't able to get inside that first Realm of Yang, slowed his game down just a little bit here on Tarkin. Like we talked about, he wants to be able to take those isolated 1v1s. The whole game kind of got slowed down by OUG's Mike here inside Celestra, just constantly breaking ankles and keeping people from being able to lock on that elimination and move on to the next fight. Because of that, Wolves has had to slow it down a little bit. There's still 10 players left in the lobby. He can't quite full commit to fights like he wants to, knowing that once he expends that ultimate, he's going to put a big target on the back of his head.
Wow. CDY still hasn't fully catch a player yet so far. Has 75 seconds remaining on that buff. Frostivus with 2.5 minutes nearly to try to pick up a soul to stay inside his game. Big pair from PST onto Spider. Spider does have that F to avoid the extra damage coming into play. He's going to go ahead and swap on over to that dagger for the movement. Now the chase is on for PST. PST wants to try to pick up this elimination here, but Spider is not going to be an easy target for that. Does manage to catch him with the LMB, jump LMBs, follow-ups, and we're seeing that a lot off of longsword play from the pro players. Them jump LMBs from grapple bumps, from any catch after. The jump LMB is being played out a lot now with the longsword. Bang in the back end against PSC. PSC might be called out here, drops very low, gets hit once again, getting juggled back and forth there by 2 players. PSC in big trouble, Mike and Fong both cornering PST, and PST now is on the run. Does manage to get a blue armor swap there. What a precision to find that. Fang, though, has that F to call in and catch him in the corner. PST now gets caught up in the back end. It's going to be T225 from the backside. He was not even in the hut. He picks up the elimination inside here onto PST, and that's super unfortunate for him. Fang did not get what he wanted, so he is going to scatter it out for the time being. What a series of events right now. And T225, those shots are always on for that man, showing up at the perfect time there with a nice one shot there to pick up the elimination for himself. And that's all you need. You need to come in at the perfect time, as we see Fang or Fong do this time and time again, third partying very, very perfectly at those times just to pick up those eliminations. I mean, this is not a damage game. This is an elimination game to get those points on the board, especially if you have a really good multiplier with your standing. But Frosted is now getting caught up by Arano, and I like to say Arano is playing disgustingly well right now. Frostivus drops very low. He picks elimination onto Frostivus. Arano now against Chazong once again. Gold Pulsar does a lot of damage, especially off those scale rushes as well. Chazong now might want to back up for the time being, but Arano has his eyes on him, and he knows this player is a little weak now, so he can get aggressive if he likes. Has that ultimate online already as well, and Arano right now playing very, very well. 4 eliminations on the board, currently in first place here. And once again, Arano is one of the newer players in the league. They come in, I believe, towards the end of last year, and I mean, just showing up like this already and playing exceptionally well for Arano. I mean, this is insane, especially with how high the level is in the pro league. This is incredible to watch. Chazong gets hit by the F of Arano. The wisps are coming to play from Chazong, and here comes the TOD, I believe. Spider tries to jump in, but he gets caught up by the wisp as well. That is not what he was looking for, but Spider now gonna go ahead and continue his aggression onto Chazong. Chazong now is gonna be hit by the R&B focus there from Spider. Jump LB nearly misses there. R&B focus back there from Chazong, and Spider with an LB follow up there for the elimination, and that's the second one on the board there for Spider.
Poor Arano got took to Wisp City. Oh my goodness, not 1 but 2 Timmys coming in solos, and both of them locking you down with back-to-back whips. Wow. Arano survives that somehow. Spider immediately turning that target acquisition onto the other Timmy, coming in onto Chu Zhang. Here we go. We're going to have that first late game Bane. Ladies and gentlemen, this is an important thing to note about this Bane. This Bane comes in at the same time every single game, and it's always right when that stage 4 Morris Blessing comes through. These players know the Bane is going to be coming through. They know it's going to likely drop on a large group of players as well. They have got to think now about how and when they are taking engagements going into the start of Zone 4 and Zone 5 with the threat of that Bane hanging over their head.
Spider, I believe he has Merciless on the staff, so he can create some distance between these players, even in late game as well. Once the circle is very, fairly smaller than it is now, he is going to be able to control a lot of the area in that end zone. There he is going to try to bend it back. He does catch Fong there for a quite split second, but Fong is still trying to get aggressive onto Spider. Spider now trying to back up, try to get a reset in for himself, but Fong is not going to make this easy. F called in, beautifully timed there from Fong, has the F to go on top of the roof. Look at the movement there from Spider. Wang Leon now has his eyes onto Spider as well. Gets caught up by one hand off that pole sword. Once again, the goal portion on the field, and CDY with a massive parry onto Mike. That's big damage, and Mike's going to be forced to pop his ultimate, trying to get aggressive off of it. We have pistol shots flying in from the backside from Morano. CDY as well, trying to apply the pressure. I believe that's 2 shields down for Mike, and the third one as well, but it's Arano coming out victorious here in that fight, picking the elimination, and that's 5 on the board, and he scatters now, and Arano really just has to play in-game for the time being and play this game out with 5 eliminations on the board. That is incredible for this young man right now, playing very, very well, and he just scaled to the max right now. He's playing insane right now. 5 eliminations in this lobby, the top 12 here in this game. Juan Leon, I believe that's it was CDY picking up the resources there in the backside from that elimination. Got a quick little raid here from Morano. See what the man have to say. Wants to become well, the way you're playing right now, sir, you're in the runner-up right now in my eyes. You're playing exceptionally well right now.
I mean, he's in first place right now. He's the man closest to the goal, baby. EWG's Arano coming in. This dude, he's impressed me in this first week back here to the NBPL. His improvement shows a lot, and the way he's just locking it in, he's playing out of his mind in these bi-weekly games, and now we're the bi-weekly finals. He has not slowed it down. The man's got 5 eliminations in his belt, currently in first place, 13.1 points. If he takes this to the end of this game, he could easily be halfway to the way for match point. This man is having a good game 1 here in our first bi-weekly solo. Is back at it again over here to Wolves CDY, who's only 0.4 points behind second place right now. CDY, our boy Panda Man, showing us that improvement. You know, I talked a ton about this last year. Panda Man was my vote for most improved player during the NBPL season, and all of that improvement really showing here now that we're back to the NBPL for 2024. Panda Man, an absolutely dominating force, and again, I think it's helping his team a lot, right? With the confidence, they see how well Panda Man's doing. Wolves is back. You know, last year, Wolves was kind of like Team Puppies, not Team Wolves. This year, they are back. They've got the bite and the bark to follow through, and I think Panda Man coming in is part of that. He brings a lot of confidence to the team, and he makes those players want to be better. Sure enough, Wolves CDY here sitting in second place. Things are going to slow down while we wait for this final Bane to go through. Nobody wants to commit to these fights here. WBG Spider holding that backside there with the Merciless Havoc, just trying to keep that space to himself. Wolves CDY threatening a little bit of that space, but also wants to be able to stay on the backside of these rocks where he doesn't have to worry about that range threat. DRG's Fong, though, not having any of it, looks to come topside to potentially evict some people. Arano down here on the bot side of the map, a little out in the open, but in a good position to rotate with the rest of the map here. KLA's T225 doing what T225 does best, holding the bow, baby. This man, I mean, we saw it earlier. He steals that kill through the window with the bow shot. If you weren't here last season to watch T225, this man with a bow is a dangerous thing to be alive in these final circles. If he even gets a whiff of you being low, forget about it. T225 is going to find a way to pick up that elimination all the way from downtown. XCG's Wang Liang here going to eat some of those bow shots we were talking about from T225 right now, holding on to that legendary fan in the back pocket. He wants to turn back and retaliate with some bow shots of his own. Not quite going to find him. Wolf CDY here, not pushing up into Fang, looks to turn and find some retaliation onto Wang as well. Wang really just somehow becoming the target here, even though EWG's Arano right there with him. Arano going to hold that little bit of a tree that he's got here, trying to keep Wang Liang from pressuring into it and finding any sort of cover. So WBG Spider looking here, we're going to get a good angle on it. T225, Wolf CDY, all trying to take those shots down range at Wang Liang, but Wang Liang going to find a thicker tree a little up the hill here and find that cover that he's looking for. Spider, again, just holding that position out here with that Merciless Havoc. He got quite a bit of cover over here on this side of the map up until that zone does start to push in. He's going to be on the fat side of that zone, so we'll have some time to hold this position, but things are about to kick off as we do have Zone 6 starting to collapse onto Zone 7 in the next 15 seconds, ladies and gentlemen. With 6 players left alive, you can bet this is going to be a wild final circle. And unfortunately for Wolf CDY, again, he needed to have a lobby that had a lot more aggression than this. Mike slowed the aggression of the entire lobby down inside of Celestro with the way he was just breaking everybody's ankles there. It kind of has worked against the favor of Wolf CDY right now because he's a Tarka in a final circle with 6 players. This is not where you want to be if you're playing Tarka G here in the first game of the day.
I think CDY also has Mortar Defiance. I think that's the Jade that was in his inventory. So hopefully that does some wonders for him here in this end circle. But we do have 1 Tarka, 2 Shayos, 2 Akuses, and a Lone Wolf Tomoke for our final circle of game number 1. These players now, once again, I mean, last week we saw the pressure of how deadly the cannon can be when there's a lot of cannons on the field. I believe there's only 1 cannon currently right now for this end circle, and these players are just trying to claim the little area that they can. You see everybody really close to each other, and Spider, once again, he controls this whole area with his merciless havoc that he has on that staff, and it's going to be very, very well for him here. He's going to manage to create some space here and just keep lunging these. He is safe once that animation is followed through. Now Juan Leon looks like he is going to get aggressed on by CDY, and Spider has his eyes on that quickly and quickly turns that merciless havoc onto him, but Juan Leon's going to be forced to pop his ultimate. We have the Marshall J there for CDY as well on the goal halberds, but gets caught up by Spider. Spider now is going to get hit by the people's elbow. F called him from the Tomoke this time around, and the aggression is starting to unfold from all these players. Fong now trying to lay down these cannon shots from the top side of the final circle. T225 playing the top side as well as Spider. Arano on the top right hand side with the gold pole sword is going to be able to just overhold here. Gets clipped off of this. Spider trying to hold him out in the zone right now. Does not manage to do so currently. T225 is just playing it a lot safer right now. Has to keep an eye on his grapples currently. Swapping on over here. Spider once again catches Fong this time around the right hand side, just trying to lay down these merciless havocs there to try to get these players weak or get someone focused here to try to get these eliminations on the board for all these players. Spider now catches Juan Leon, and Juan Leon gets sent in the zone. He does lose a little bit of that white HP, loses half of that purple armor. Spider being a big nuisance for a lot of these players. CDY now the Tarka, the only Tarka in this game. Big parry there from Fong and the bomb side. I believe that was on Spider. That's big damage coming to play. Spider's gonna be forced to pop his ultimate, and these players are trying to stay up. We have 1 player all the way on top, and it's gonna be Arano. Arano with 5 eliminations right now, playing the high ground. Juan Leon drops very low. He might be taken out, but no, he gets 1 out before he leaves, and that's Fong. Fong is going to be eliminated. CDY now getting caught out by the F there from Arano. Arano forcing out that ultimate as well. CDY drops very low, and that's 1 elimination for Arano. T225 against Arano. The final scrap off. T225 falls to the poison splash, but it's going to be T225 getting elimination onto Spider, and T225 losing to Arano, and Arano with a massive game 1. I believe that's 6 or 7 eliminations for this man here in game number 1.